Hello everyone, welcome back to Canada's boxing channel. So I hope everyone's doing well. I can report that sadly it was minus 18 degrees centigrade overnight and my man cold has returned. But anyways, few people are interested in my man cold, especially my wife. And the temperature probably makes everybody who lives in warmer climates go, haha, you shouldn't be living there anyhow. Now, on with the subject of today's video. Boxing is one of those sports that brings people together. And sometimes it creates the strangest of bedfellows. I find myself today, for example, feeling a degree of sympathy, empathy, support, camaraderie with Gareth A. Davies, of all people. A man who, quite frankly, I've never really given a lot of thought to. But if you don't know, Gareth A. Davies is a British boxing journalist. He writes for, amongst other outlets, the UK's Daily Telegraph. And he's a fellow who... He's a fellow who's got a certain degree of eccentricity about him. In less politically correct times, people like my father might, for example, have said he was a little bit of a queer fellow. Anyhow, he's popular, I suppose. Certainly has done very well for himself. And while many people sort of, in a way, almost make fun of him, he is nevertheless a well-established boxing journalist. He lacks what I would say, the gravitas of a Thomas Hauser or that sort of working-class charisma of a Steve Bunce, but nevertheless he has a following and he's done very well for himself. I believe he's actually quite a wealthy fellow. Well, of late, he seems to have upset none other than the father of British boxer Johnny Fisher, Big John Fisher, who incidentally is featured in the thumbnail to this video. Now, this thumbnail is not an AI creation. This thumbnail is apparently a photograph of a billboard that can be observed if one drives along the M1 motorway in the United Kingdom. Motorway is what the Brits call the freeway. It's on public display. I chose to use it as a thumbnail because it was sent to me, and I thought, if I have to bleach my eyes, so does everybody else. What we can say is that apparently Big John Fisher is advertising some form of underwear in this photograph. And the only other thing we could probably say is that Big John is well fed, or as they used to say, he keeps a fine table. Other than that, we should probably not make any other comments. But anyways, it appears that there's a dispute between Gareth A. Davies and Big John Fisher, who we're led to believe were very friendly previously. In fact, Gareth Davies has said that he has dined at the Fisher family home, and that they were all, very, very, good friends. But it appears that the beef, if indeed it is a beef, has occurred because after the Johnny Fisher-Dave Allen fight, Gareth A. Davies sided with most people and said that he thought the decision of the judges was incorrect. Now, I think most of us who watched the fight would say that Dave Allen won the fight. I mean, there's going to be a hardcore of Johnny Fisher fans, which would include his family members, of course, who would say that Johnny Fisher did enough to win the fight. For me and for most others, I think, we would say it was kind of a fight of two halves. Johnny Fisher probably won the first half. Dave Allen sort of won the second half. But Dave Allen knocked Johnny Fisher down, so that was a 10-8 round. So 5-5, but with a 10-8, the decision should probably have gone to Dave Allen. It's not an especially controversial thing. Well, Gareth A. Davies, he didn't go running around, with his hair on fire. He's quite hirsute. He's got lots of hair. Screaming robbery, robbery. He just thought that the decision of the judges was incorrect. And this has caused Big John Fisher to be outraged. He said he's no longer welcome in my home and all this sort of stuff. Well, a few days ago, Big John Fisher was being interviewed by IFL. And he said that, Gareth A. Davies had crossed a line, that he has a certain line and you can close up to it, you can dangle your feet over it, but once you cross it, that's it. And the interviewer asked him, is this an Essex thing? Sort of, trying to maybe create in the minds of the viewers sort of rise of the foot soldiers sort of type thing. And Big John said, no, it's East London, innit? Or something to that effect. And I'm not sure if that was meant to create in our minds the days of, the Crays and the Richardsons, pie and mash in smoky calves, pearly kings and queens, knifings in the docks. I'm not sure. It sort of has a certain criminal romanticism to it. Except, of course, John Fisher Sr. was born in the mid-1970s. He would have been a toddler in London when I went to university in London. A London that, quite frankly, was already at that time a far cry from the days of the Crays and the Richardsons. So there's a fakeness to it all. Anyhow, I think there's a fakeness to the beef, quite frankly. The beef is a ticket-selling mechanism. Big John Fisher is undoubtedly an exceptionally good marketer. He's got a very large social media following. And he is famous for eating prodigious amounts of Chinese food, etc. He's a very, very, very successful fellow. But I think this fake beef with Gareth A. Davies is exactly that, fake. If one attends and listens to Johnny Fisher and Dave Allen speak, they're old school, kind of nice guys who don't really have much bad to say about each other. They don't hold very entertaining press conferences. They're mostly professionals who say, yeah, I don't really like you very much. We're not really going to be great friends. But yeah, I'm going to go in the ring. I'm going to knock each other's block off. And then we'll probably go for a pint afterwards. That kind of thing. But the fake beef between Big John Fisher from East London, innit, and Gareth A. Davies, a wealthy public schoolboy who writes for the Daily Telegraph, no less, adds a little spice and entertainment to the whole story, which undoubtedly will help ticket sales. Can't really blame them for it. But if you're a more serious fan, I think we probably say, yeah, okay, whatever. You're two very rich guys who are pretending to have an argument. One of you is claiming a lineage going back to the days of, the sound of Bow Bells and all that sort of stuff. And the other one is, well, you live on the same street as Eddie Hearn. Undoubtedly a swankier neighborhood than the neighborhood in which I live. So there we go. That's my take on it. Let me know in the comments section if you think this is fake beef, real beef, chicken chow mein, whatever. And enjoy the rest of the day wherever you are. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe, please share. Most importantly, have a fabulous day. Cheers. Bye-bye.